All right, welcome to the Mark for Life Wrestling Podcast, guys. My name is Jeff Bailey.
I'm Jerry Jones.
Oh my God, we are live in St. Louis.
Live in the STL, baby.
We are literally right next door to the to Busch Stadium, home of the Cardinals. What a Rampage live here in St. Louis tonight. My God, man, what a wrestling show! Not just Rampage being amazing.
Yeah.
Wrestling show.
I cannot wait for you all to see Dark Elevation. It is we're not going to do spoilers here, but it is awesome.
But I will say this.
Incredible.
I think we got the best 3 hours of wrestling TV or wrestling, just wrestling show. More than Raw, SmackDown. We got, I feel like we saw almost the entire AEW roster.
Yeah.
TK just coming out and hitting it out of the park.
Yeah.
Got a big apology for not hosting pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Which St. Louis was supposed to get full gear.
And there were people, people were feeling a certain kind of way about it. And and it was just so cool for Tony to come out and just own it. He didn't make any excuses. He just said, this is why we made the decision.
Can't compete with UFC and all these other things.
The big boxing, the Canelo Alvarez pay-per-view this weekend.
Got to do what's right for the money.
Yeah.
And, and he basically said, we're going to give you the best pre-show in the history of AEW. And oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Some of the matches you guys have to look forward to are just, Andrade. Yeah. Jurassic Express.
Oh my gosh.
Darby.
We got Darby.
Allin.
Yeah.
They gave us pretty much, like I said, I felt like the entire roster was represented.
Yeah.
A couple of big 6-man tags.
Yeah.
Just fantastic action.
If you've never watched Dark,
this is the time to start.
This is the time to start. And just so you know that the other Darks aren't going to be like this one. This is on a whole different.
And if this is what maybe, and who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe TK is taking us somewhere and saying, all right, I'm going to tell you what, you need to watch YouTube. You need to watch Dark. You need to watch Dark Elevation because we're putting the top talent on.
Danielson was on a couple weeks ago.
The roster is so stacked right now.
Yeah. You just, the thing is with AEW anymore, you almost have to tune in to everything they have because you don't know who you're going to miss, what you're going to miss. You just have to be there.
And the action was just nonstop. Crowd was hot.
Yes.
Let's dig into that first match. TK tells us, I'm going to give you Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
Here he comes. The American Dragon Son. First thing. And the crowd just explodes.
Right, because we didn't really know, and none of us really knew what the evening was going to be.
The only matches we knew for sure were Bunny Velvet.
Yeah.
And we knew Adam Cole and Silver.
Yeah.
We knew there was going to be a Punk Kingston confrontation.
I can't wait to get to that. Can't wait to get into that.
But we just get an absolute barn burner to start.
Oh, man.
Danielson comes out, just...
The crowd was
everybody is loving him right now.
And then,
and then
the Acclaim
comes out,
and
you got Max Caster talking about Dragonson's cucumber patch,
right?
It's pretty good. It's some classic. I got to give Max Caster some credit. He is getting some good rhyme in.
He's the super muscular Russell Wilson. If you do a side-by-side comparison of Max Caster and Russell Wilson, and you're like, is that the same dude? Except his thighs are like,
looks
calves
like I kid you now, the guy looks like he could, he could squat a, large elephant.
Yeah.
But Bowens looked great in the match, did some awesome maneuvers.
Yes.
I'm kind of always worried about his in-ring ability.
Yeah.
But I feel like he brought a lot.
He did bring a lot to the table, and Danielson wants it. I know I'm a broken record by now, but Bryan Danielson brings the best out.
The best out of everybody.
Yeah.
Not only himself, but his opponent. And that's what the greats do. You need a great dance partner to have a great match.
And so now I want to watch Bones in the ring more. I'm like, okay, I'll watch more of the Acclaim.
The Acclaim did get a title shot at the tag titles.
They did.
But maybe it's time to get him in the picture for real.
Yeah. He showed he can really go, and I didn't know he had that in him, but it was great. Great match.
and good stuff. And you know, Daniel, he got some good stuff in, and then Danielson gets all of his stuff in.
Yeah.
And then gets another submission.
Yeah.
Not quite the LaBelle lock. It looked a little bit more closer to the yes lock. I do like that he puts it on multiple different ways. And just so many different maneuvers he's using to win matches.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it just makes him fun to watch. And, you know, so we're getting some, you know, pretty good. I mean, I think this going in with Miro is going to be incredible. Full gear just looks beyond stacked at this point.
Oh, man.
Beyond stacked.
Yeah.
And it just gets hotter with what happened next. We get the Punk. We get the Punk Kingston confrontation.
So you know, the promo of the year for me, and I'm going to use the word was Ruby Soho and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, because they brought heat. But man, wow.
This seems like legit. There's some legit beef going all the way back to Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
I guess this was Eddie's finding his place for this anger with CM Punk.
Yeah.
And you're getting Punk just saying, look, dude, I thought you might be, you had all the potential. You're a fucking bum.
Yeah.
And it's like, he just fucking said that.
Right.
And I think there's a little shock and awe and a couple times in this promo.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's like, dude, this is why CM Punk is the best guy on the mic in the game.
Yeah.
And he brings Eddie Kingston up to another level too.
Right.
And then Eddie just comes out and talk about raw energy. I mean,
and I'm obviously as a fan, but I'm listening to these two guys and watching these two guys, and I'm thinking like, time out here, guys. Are we good? Like, we know that this is your job. We know that your job is to cut a solid promo, which this is beyond solid, but this was like, it was real. Like it was clear to me that I think there may have been an airing of grievances, things that were being held on to for quite some time that it's
holding on to a 15-year grudge, apparently.
Well, yeah.
I mean, is maybe part of it.
Yeah. One of the best promos I've seen. Probably the best promo I've ever seen live.
Best promo I've ever seen live.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's, I had the pleasure of seeing some shows in the Attitude Era and some other things, but
it'll be interesting.
This felt like, I mean, holy bejesus.
I'd be curious to see how it plays out. Like, we won't obviously be able to see it until we get back to Kansas City, but I mean, as the crowd, Jeff, like it seemed to me that, I mean, we obviously love Punk.
We love
Eddie.
Everybody likes both.
Right.
And it's one of those things that it's kind of them both showing the dark side. And we've been talking about this, that Punk has got us in the slow cooker.
Yep.
For the eventual heel turn, which we all know is coming. And he just keeps on planting little seeds of it here and here and here and here and here. And I think we get more tastes of it tonight. And I think the guy is just brilliant.
But Eddie mentioned something, like we were talking about how real it was, and Eddie talked about how he almost lost his house. Like, right? So imagine being Eddie and all these other guys who are fighting like hell to make this company, to get this company through the pandemic.
Right.
And here comes the White Knight. Here comes White Knight Phil,
White Knight Phil Brooks.
And I'm gonna come and save the
doing
day.
Snow Angels while they play Cult of Personality.
Right. I mean, that's gotta rub some of the guys a little bit.
It's kind of like the analogy I think of is like Batman, Superman.
Yeah.
Yes, they're portrayed as good pals, but if you idealistically look at these two people, they would never be friends.
Yeah.
They would fight all the time. And I kind of think that's maybe what you're seeing with this Punk and Eddie thing.
Yeah.
Idealistically, yes, we both like them. They're both awesome and they both do awesome things, but there's kind of some character things about them that says, no, we will never like each other.
Right.
And we're never going to get along, and we're going to need to beat each other up to find out what's going to happen. I think we're going to get a very physical match.
We're going to get a very physical match. There's something that CM Punk did that I did not like. And what I did not like, and it's apropos considering his name, I thought it was a very Punk move to start saying, well, it's not just me. It was Bryan Danielson. It was this guy. It was that guy. I'm like,
I think he's giving legitimacy to his argument.
Yeah.
Because saying like, all right, if that was your beef, well, a lot of other guys were saying the exact same thing. So why the fuck aren't you getting in their faces?
But to me, I'm like, man up. Don't try to like, oh, well, Bryan said the same. Like, because he's like, oh, because you brought those guys up. But Eddie's like saying, hey, these are the people. These are people that, that motivated me, that really drew me in to wrestling. I just felt like, dude, stand on your own 2 feet. Don't try to drag.
I kind of almost feel like
co-sign on with you.
I'm almost of the opinion that I think this is very last second, but it's last second and it's gonna be spectacular because it's working up such, heat on a level that's you don't get to see very often in wrestling.
I think I agree with you. I think it's very last second. I think it's very, improv. Here's the thing that I think we're pretty certain about, that going into Full Gear, we didn't know what to do with Punk and we didn't know what to do with Eddie. Right.
Well, now you
and I don't know. It felt, I think they were just, I wonder if Tony's like, hey, guys,
I need a match.
We need a match. Figure something out.
Danielson, Eddie, you just came out the best match of your life. Punk's going on for a promo. Go interrupt him right now.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of think I'm almost of the opinion that I do think TK makes some fly decisions.
Yeah.
Clearly, we've gotten to see a little more behind the scenes of how their shows work. And the fact that we got TK out in the ring on his knees, thanking every fan for coming to the show.
Yeah.
I have spent my money with Vince McMahon many, many times, and the guy never came to the ring and said thank you, much less came to the ring and got on his knees and said thank you. And I've had Tony Khan do it twice. He came out multiple times tonight to pump up the crowd. Talk about, I think that this is, one of the things that makes AEW special. It's got a guy that clearly fucking loves wrestling and loves the product.
Yeah.
And wants to make sure he needs to be entertained himself.
Yeah.
And I think that that's why it makes it so good.
Yeah. But to that point, I think what you just said, Jeff, is part of why Eddie, promo aside, and obviously these guys are trying to build up Full Gear. I think what you mentioned though is like Eddie's been one of these guys that's been here, that has been like doing everything he can to help make this company succeed. And then for a guy, and then
he kind of was, I hate to say it, he kind of got molded into Moxley's sidekick.
Right.
There for quite a while.
Yep.
He was just kind of Moxley backup, Moxley drinking buddy, which we know is never going to happen again, probably.
Right. We hope not. We hope not.
Yeah. And I kind of wondered how many different angles they could take going into this little thing. Because like I told you, we talked about in our audio podcast, which will hopefully be available soon, was that if this is just CM Punk, microphone, get out of here, you bum, and he comes out, you're a bum too, and they start fighting, and it's got to get separated, which kind of happened, but on a level that was way beyond anything that I thought could have happened.
I think this is true improv. Like, I think they're like, guys, say things you got to say. Like, I think you're right. I think it's emerging. It's just, I think they are, and I'm not saying I'm not saying they're winging it, being unprofessional. I'm saying that they are.
I think they're bringing it like
yes,
at an extreme level.
Yeah,
this is stuff that you can't box, you can't buy, and you can't write.
Right.
And that's one thing that's always gonna make, why I think AEW's product is superior right now.
Yeah,
because they're getting the talent in the right place to let them do their thing.
Right.
And that's what we saw in the ring. That's why that was special. That confrontation was awesome.
It was,
They walked the ring. They didn't stand in one place. They knifed each other back and forth. And then when it finally gets physical, I love Punk. I love Punk giving him the headbutt first.
Yeah.
I like that Punk took the first shot. Because that's, not your typical babyface thing to do.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're on this trickling walk.
Yeah.
Of walking Punk to the dark side, which is what I think a lot of us want.
I think a lot of us want that. I will say that I was relieved when the physical confrontation started, because for me personally,
the words were almost more painful.
The words were more painful, and as a fan, I'm like, I hate this. Like, I'm emotionally connected to both of these two.
And it was gut-wrenching to see these guys like, you're a fucking bum.
Yeah.
And you're a piece of shit. It's like nobody wants you here, you piece of shit.
It's like watching your buddies fight.
Yes.
Is what
Good
it
friends
felt
fight.
Yeah, what it felt like for me. And what I wanted to do is just to kind of get in on, hey. Like,
and I would say that any wrestling promoter who could go out and put two guys in a ring and they get that kind of visceral reaction from fans, that's a win.
Yeah.
That's a massive win.
So, I will say there were so many.
I'm only wondering what JR Jerry wasn't on commentary. I only wonder what Excalibur, Taz, and Ricky were saying during this whole thing.
We got Ricky
because Ricky's so funny.
Yeah.
Ricky's so funny, but there is no humor to be found in this whole thing. And in Taz, don't get me wrong. We're talking about Survive If I Let You.
Right.
This is, one of the coldest promo givers ever. I'm kind of wondering how they frame the narrative.
Well, the thing that I'm pretty confident in is that the only two people that knew what was going to be said were those two. And then when I don't even think they were for sure. Right. And I will say that,
like, I'm going to dig you hard.
I'm going to dig you hard. I don't think Eddie knew what Punk was going to say, and I don't think Punk knew what Eddie was going to say. They each knew that things were going to get said. It was a hot promo. Wow. It was intense. It was tense.
Just happy to say I was in the building when it happened. Wow.
Yeah. Whew. That was it. Yeah. It kind of it gave me chills. Just kind of.
It was one of those. I'm glad.
It was
to say I was there for it.
And I know. Hopefully there'll be some good footage that people took of that interaction, but I was so into it. Like, I didn't want to try to film it or
look up at the
we had
a really good shot of one of the screens for the live feed, and it was tempting to try to not keep your eyes on it, but man, wow, what good stuff.
That was amazing.
Full Gear now looks like, we're just talking about it all out.
It
was maybe one of the best pay-per-views I've ever seen. And spent money on, and it's like Full Gear is just looking to be just as good.
I gotta tell you, Minneapolis.
Oh my God, you guys lucked out. Because St. Louis almost got the pay-per-view of the century.
You lucked out, but I gotta tell you, this pay-per-view is not gonna be for the Minnesota Nice. This is going to be. I kind of wish this was like in Philadelphia. The pressure.
I want a hard, mean wrestling.
Minnesota is going to have to bring it. You're going to have to defend. You're going to have to bring your grit
because this is going to be nasty.
It's going to be. It's going to be nasty.
Then getting into not quite as nasty. Bunny in Red Velvet. Did we have a promo between that? They did
on Wednesday, but they had it on, but I didn't know if I couldn't
remember if they were showing something between matches or not.
Yeah,
we get the Bunny come out. Matt Hardy comes out to get Matt Hardy comes out and gets some heat for the Bunny during the break.
Basically, he chastised us for not acknowledging her.
I just want them to say it. Just say it. Acknowledge the Bunny.
He
WWE
did everything but say it. He did everything but say it. think they probably could. He did everything he could.
I want him just
to say it without saying.
Acknowledge her.
Good match. I thought
it was a great match.
Yeah. I mean, there was one spot that I
thought
maybe
Buddy missed that Red Velvet missed that kick.
Yeah.
Buddy sold it.
She did. She sold the hell out of it.
She sold the hell out of it. But Red Velvet did not even make contact with her.
I should let you guys know that I lost a prop bet on this match, by the way.
Oh, I think you won it.
No, because the prop bet was that Jade Cargill would be a guest commentator. She was at ringside, not
commentary.
Yeah,
but she was there.
Yeah,
and good eyes for spotting her.
Yeah, so I lost. I had to pay for the toasted rabs. When you're in St. Louis, you got to eat toasted rabs. Yeah, so we bet a round of toasted rabs, and I lost. Yes.
But all in all, good match, entertaining. How do we feel about the TBS tournament? We did get some pretty hot action in dark.
Oh, I can't. Yeah.
Don't want to do any spoilers.
Yeah, but there's gonna be some interesting
ramifications.
Yes. That's excellent.
Definitely ramifications for the TBS tournament. Mild heat starting. Statlander and
and we won't. I don't want to give it away. Don't want to give it away. But I'm loving this tournament. Is so strong.
I kind of was when they first came out with the bracketing. I was like, what are they doing? These people get buys, and they have done a great job. And I love that the people who got the buys have been bringing heat on the people that have won matches.
Oh yeah,
they're going straight after them. Jade's going after them. Nyla Rose goes after them. So you're getting, people getting locking eyes real fast, and they're building heat. They're like, we want this fucking belt.
I mean,
I want the TBS title.
I mean, think about you. To be able to win this tournament, win this belt, and you're going into Dynamite as the champion. It's your. I mean, to quote Jade,
it's your show.
Yeah, it's that bitch show, right? But all of the ones and all the women in this division they're in it to win it, and there are no weak ones here. They're all any one of them that are almost all of them who are left in the bracket, I believe, can win it.
Are legit. I mean, it's anybody's game at this point. I mean, Jade Cargill is kind of ideal person to put the belt on, I guess.
I mean, but I don't know if she's ready for it.
I don't know if she's.
I mean,
I'm really hoping they're giving. Like I said, I'm hoping she's getting dark matches, and I mean, we didn't see her wrestle tonight.
Yeah.
But I just hope she's getting more experience.
Yeah.
Because I would love. I mean, I think she's physically on an EST level. I think that is a lofty. I mean, if we are talking about pure athleticism, I am talking about pure athleticism. I'm not talking about ring experience or ability.
Okay.
From going on pure athleticism, I believe Jade Cargill and Bianca Blair on the same.
That is high praise. I think that she absolutely has the physical gifts.
I see her stealing that one-hand press slam.
Yeah.
And that would be
what I don't want for Jade is, and what I see is, I don't want her to be a Goldberg. I don't want her to be where her skills never develop.
And the guy was dangerous. I mean,
the
guy's still dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, watch wrestling. Watch him lately. He's still dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was a professional wrestler, I would not want to get in the ring with Bill Goldberg.
No.
I mean, that's just for safety's sake.
Mm-hmm.
It's too dangerous for that.
Yeah.
But I just want to see a broader move set.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see her grapple with somebody. I don't feel like I've ever. I mean, she's had, I think, 10 to 12 matches now.
Yeah. Well,
I've never really seen her grapple with anybody in a very intense way. And good chain wrestling is what you're supposed to do.
My prediction, I don't know, we're not really asking for predictions now, but my prediction for who's going to come out of this tournament is Thunder Rosa.
I'm kind of feeling a Thunder Rosa or Statlander.
Yeah.
I mean, Statlander looks like, I mean, she's kind of looking like another level.
Yeah.
If not, I see somebody getting royally screwed during this tournament. And I'm kind of seeing that somebody being royally screwed because I feel like there's a few people that are in the TBS tournament that actually should be going for the big belt.
So that could be a Thunder Rosa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, and I also feel like a couple of those people are kind of, I want to see them progress. And yes, this title is clearly very, very important. I kind of feel like they need to be their main event. I feel like, Statlander is main event.
Yeah.
Her match with Britt was spectacular.
100%.
But I've already done it. So, only her taking the belt off her down the road is another option.
Yeah.
And I don't think, to be frankly honest, I don't see Britt's run ending anytime soon.
Yeah.
I think she's just too on top of her game.
Have we talked about Jamie Hayter and how she never does the DMD?
I think we've mentioned it. I know I have, because I've noticed it.
Yeah.
How she doesn't ever do it.
Never does it.
Don't get me wrong, Rebel is definitely her sidekick. So she's gonna do it. And Tony's her best friend, so of course he's gonna do it.
So I feel like there's something there.
She does a lot of winks.
Yeah.
Because I know that they've given little looks where Rebel will look at her because she didn't do it, and she'll just be like,
yeah,
give her a little wink or whatever. But I mean, look at what she is. I mean, I think she's clearly going to break out on her own at some point.
Yeah.
I think her moves are, we saw she was excellent in a dark match. Again, don't want to give any spoilers away.
Yeah.
But Statlander was, Hayter was again awesome in that tag.
Mm-hmm.
I see her kind of keep going forward, but I think this would be, I think a loss, maybe in the finals of the TBS would take Jamie to a really good place.
100%.
Yeah. And another elevation match we get is I got to admit, loved the main event interview in person at Rampage.
Oh man, what now?
A little Mark Henry live, and we just get pure sophomore humor from Silver, and then Adam Cole's just, I'm gonna beat your ass.
Yeah.
I'm not budge. I don't know who you're talking about. I'm gonna kick your ass. But this is again talking about how being the elite is practically more canon than the real show.
Yeah.
The whole budge joke is just a joke on YouTube, and it is now. There were literally hundreds of people with budge signs.
Yeah. It's a thing. You'll hear, you heard it. You're let's go budge.
Yeah. We're getting full budge chants.
Yeah.
Johnny Hungy, let's go budge. And this was a great match.
After you watch this episode of Mark for Life, just Google BTE being the elite.
Being the elite.
you're gonna wanna subscribe to that. It's so good.
And on a happy note too, for being the elite, I did see on AEW shop, Cold Spray Cutler has his own shirt.
Nice.
So
nice.
Those being the elite fans, Cutler has his own shirt.
Yeah.
That just says it all right there.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Good to see Adam Cole's entrance live.
Yeah. Oh, it popped. It's
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. And he is legit. He is so good.
He's good in the ring. He's a really sound technician. He and John Silver obviously have great chemistry, outside the mat, and we saw definitely inside. They work really well together. It was a joy to watch those two in the ring working together. It was awesome. It was so much fun.
It was fun. We clearly know Silver was not going over in this match.
Right.
He was not, but there was a spot where I kind of thought that he might pin him.
Yeah.
But he kicked out. But Then Adam Cole showed us his resolve, and he was not going to be pinned. And came back and won it. But again, a great match, and we finished with TK. This is for just the people in the arena. TK comes out and tells the Young Bucks and Adam Cole they have to smile and do pictures with
because
people.
Their behavior has been so abhorrent that if they don't, take pictures and sign autographs, they will be suspended.
That's pretty great.
I'm like, sure, he's getting suspended.
This has been my biggest talent. But no, I mean, it's all good fun. I mean, and what fun. I mean, these 2 nights of live shows here in the great Show Me state of Missouri have been wonderful. And man, I cannot wait for AEW to come. Even, debating if we try to drive up from Full Gear next Saturday.
I mean, that's a real, I'm like, do we?
Our significant others would probably
have something to say.
But I mean, my God, we're talking about value. I mean, I think that for the wrestling fan, you get your absolute money's worth going to one of these shows.
100%. Yeah. And I would say, I know there are people who always are checking on the ratings and how the show did. Look, I don't care. I don't think that AEW is looking to figure out how they're not McDonald's. Okay,
no,
we're not just trying to develop a product for, I say we. I mean, but to the point
again, me and Jerry work for AEW. We do not work for AEW.
We do not work for AEW.
The budget for this show is $0.
$0. We do not. I mean, we don't work for AEW. I'm not saying Tony that
press passes would be nice.
Yeah. For what it's worth, John Silver, I mean, if Budge doesn't accept your offer, I mean, I think Jeff and I might be able to be convinced to.
I'll take it.
I mean, I'd be Pudge. I mean, I already have, the gut and whatnot.
And I'm already almost have no hair.
Yeah. But it was fun tonight. I mean,
I thought it was a blast.
And I'm excited.
I can't wait for these dark matches to show up.
And this is obviously we're not, we're not doing, we didn't do a YouTube live because we had to I had to pay off my Toasted Rav loss and kind of just soak in it. And it took us an hour to get out of the parking garage.
45 minutes,
for
the parking garage. So
I don't know what happened there. I mean, but it's a thing. But we're here live, man. And so that's the thing. I don't know how many shows you're getting where people were actually there in the arena. No, not taking any shots because on the way home from shows, we're watching the shows that you're watching too. Right after the event because they're the best.
Our favorites as well.
Yep. But there's something about being here live, and so we're gonna be thinking about how we do
live. Do we some live?
Just going and coming to you guys live
because man, so much fun. And
once again, if you have the opportunity, and we know times are tough, and so it's not always easy to afford going to a live event. But man, if you have the opportunity,
you're in your neighborhood,
please consider going. It's just so amazing. It's so much fun, and it's fun for everybody.
Yes, and just support wrestling in general.
Yes,
we saw some awesome support for some local. They did bring in some local indie guys.
Yeah,
and they got massive pops. And it's just great to see St. Louis loving their local local wrestling guys.
Yes.
And gals that came out and participated in the show. Warhorse, Tootie.
Yeah.
And Tootie's match in Kansas City was amazing.
It really was.
She was really good. I mean, I kind of think that's one that was like, hey, TK, what want to think about a little deal for her,
Yeah, I have a feeling that when you all kind of watch Dark and you hear people chanting Warhorse, I'm like, ooh, we may be seeing. I'm hoping. I got my fingers crossed that we'll be seeing him.
Yeah, I mean, he is over with these St. Louis people.
100%.
I mean, they love him.
I kind of want to come back for
whatever. I don't even know
shows. I don't even know.
I don't even know what promotion he works for, but I want to go check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing some Googling after this and figure out who the hell is Warhorse because they were popping for him big time.
Definitely. But yeah, guys, if you can, go check out some live wrestling.
Yep.
But for us, V-trigger that subscribe button and like. Yeah. We need it. Help us get a little further going in the world of the wrestling podcasts. Leave us some comments. I'd love to hear from you. Figure out what we're doing that you like and what we do that you don't like. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, what a time for wrestling, guys. It's Full Gear coming up.
Oh wow. Yeah. So yeah,
Dynamite,
up,
guys.
Yeah, we're gonna have some going home shows. We're gonna have it's gonna be a great week. It's going to
be nuts. And did we see any confirmed matches for Wednesday?
They showed them, but I think we were so busy like it being crazy.
Too enamored with Eddie Kingston and CM Punk about to beat each other to the living death.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll get a TBS tournament match.
Yes.
But I don't know who we're getting.
Which one? Oh, it's Statlander Ruby, I think.
Ooh, okay, that's going to be a good one. So Statlander Ruby, and then we've got
Jade Red Velvet.
Okay,
and Nyla and
Thunder.
I thought Thunder gets Jamie Hayter.
Oh, that's right, Thunder is Jamie. So is Nyla? Who's getting Tay Conti?
Tay Conti's right. She's got the title match.
Oh, that's right.
She's playing in the Big Girl Club.
That's right. Oh, we
can't remember, and we look like terrible.
And this is really bad.
This is where we're gonna delete the end of this.
Yeah.
We're gonna end after we did the subscribe comments.
Right. You guys never saw this. Like I don't even know what you're doing still watching at this point. Like, why didn't you? Can we talk about the fact that if you're still watching right now, that maybe there's a challenge?
Exactly. Like we ended the episode clearly 3 or 4 minutes ago, and you're still
here. That whatever you've smoked, whatever edible you've had, it's working, because this isn't even actually happening right now.
And hey, leave a comment. Tell me what strain that is.
Yes. Have you had the Delta 8?
The Delta 8 stuff is very calming, my friend.
Really?
It's supposed to be non-psychoactive. Just a little kind of cut down on the euphoria buzz.
Yeah.
It's more about just the straight pain relief, calming. Good stuff. And hey, take care of yourselves out there.
Yes. Yep.
I'm trying to stay on this. This whole thing with Moxley and everybody else.
Yep.
Take care of yourselves, guys.
That's right.
If you need help, please ask.
Yep. 100%.
If you're in a dark place, somebody else has been there before too.
That's right.
And they will help you out. Just make that call, ask for some help.
That's right.
On that note, guys, it's late. We love you.
All right.
Mark for life.
Deuces.